And if I am able to do this, to kill a god, then the visions, they will end.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another video. In this video, we are once again discussing Odin. Yes, Odin himself. Now, I did a previous video on Odin. It's how Odin knew with facts that Kratos and Atreus was going to Jotunheim before he did, and that video was completely 100% factual. But in this video, I'm going to go into more of a theory, and this theory is kind of hard to disprove because of what we know about Odin already. Now, if you guys didn't watch my previous series, I did two other series on this channel. One, the symbol series, about a symbol we found on Kratos, and two was about Tyr's corruption and why I believe he killed the giants. But in this video, we are going to be talking about Baldur, Magni, Modi, and how Odin has prevented his own death already, his ultimate goal. But let's get right into the video. So let's get into it. So first off, a quick recap about the last video. In that video, we talked about how Odin actually knew Kratos and Atreus was coming when he infiltrated the giants' world. And there he discovered that they're the ones that are gonna start Ragnarok. This is how Odin knew the future. Now, what are some of the things he did in the game that prevented his own death already?
Fate is another lie told by the gods. Nothing is written that cannot be unwritten.
On that, brother, you and the All-Father may just agree. Even if he can't prevent Ragnarok, he still hopes to learn enough details to influence the outcome.
I mentioned in the last video how Odin actually dies in Ragnarok. He dies in a battle with Fenrir, who swallows him and his brothers whole. Now, what happened to Fenrir? Fenrir hasn't been born yet, technically, because Loki, Atreus, is the one that's supposed to spawn the wolf as well. Loki spawns Jormungandr, the world serpent, and Odin's 8-legged horse. However, for some unknown reason, Fenrir already exists in this world. Mimir tells us that Fenrir has been captured using his Norse name. Fenrir is the father of Skull and Hati, people who will eat the sun and the moon. If Fenrir is already captured, somehow he already exists in this world. Maybe he came from the future. I made several videos on that as well. I'll link them at the end of this one.
Aye. They were born of the archwolf Hrothwitnir, a great nemesis of the Aesir gods. Odin captured them as pups and kept them in the kennels of Asgard to hold his foe at bay. But when the sun and moon grew mutinous and stood still, Odin put Skoll and Hati to use. With his ancient magics, he cast the wolves to the heavens, and they began their chase. And long shall they chase, but not endlessly, for it is foretold that someday Skoll and Hati will catch and devour their prey. And that day shall be Ragnarok, the twilight of the gods.
But Ragnarok is supposed to be Odin's doom, isn't it? Why would he set the wolves loose if it fulfills the prophecy?
Precisely the question, lad. It's always about control. The wolves determine when Ragnarok begins, and now he controls the wolves. A battle fought on his timetable is a battle he better stands to win.
Now that Fenrir is captured, it makes sense for him to be locked up because one, in real Norse mythology, Tyr aids in his capture, and two, since he hasn't attacked Odin yet for taking his pups, it's best assumed that he is captured somewhere. The very thing that kills him in Ragnarok, he needs Ragnarok to happen. Now, think about it like this. He has already taken captive of the thing that eats him in Ragnarok. Now, if Ragnarok comes and the thing that is not there to do him in, then he wouldn't die, right? I believe this is what Odin believes. So now all Odin needs is for Ragnarok to actually happen. He knows Kratos and Atreus will eventually, one day, start Ragnarok. But Odin needs it to happen now that he has Fenrir captured. Skull and Hati are already chasing the moon. It's why he set them loose. And of course, the biggest thing that starts Ragnarok, the thing that sets everything into motion, is the spawn of Fimbulwinter. And the only way Fimbulwinter, in real Norse mythology as well, the only way Fimbulwinter becomes a thing is if Baldur dies. And now Odin's true intentions really come to light. I believe that Baldur was sacrificed. Now before I go any further, remember, Ragnarok is always going to happen. Mimir said this multiple times, Freya mentioned this, Ragnarok is going to happen. You cannot stop Ragnarok. It's why we saw it in the game as well. This was true in real Norse mythology. No matter what you do, Ragnarok cannot be stopped. However, like Mimir says, Odin just needs a few things change to have himself survive. Now, Baldur is an initial piece to Ragnarok. Odin probably knows that he can't stop Ragnarok, but he can start it. So he sends Baldur to go and pursue Kratos and Atreus. He knows that Baldur can't win despite invulnerability to almost all objects in nature. However, you can't stop Ragnarok, which means that he knew Baldur was going to die. He sacrificed Baldur so Ragnarok will come quicker now that he has Fenrir captive. Now, some of the things that supports this is Mimir said that Odin might have been pushing Baldur to get him on his side, that he's been feeding Baldur these lies to make him hate Freya even more. So where does Magni and Modi come in? Well, like I mentioned in previous videos, some of the gods that do survive Ragnarok is the sons of Thor and the sons of Odin. They work together to create a new world. In real Norse mythology, Modi and Magni share Thor's hammer because Thor dies to the world serpent in Ragnarok. So they share his hammer post Ragnarok to once again build something new, to build something that gods and the world can prosper. I truly believe that Odin does not want this. I believe that Odin knows the future. He knows his own fate. He knows the fates of the other gods, including who will survive. Again, Baldur is supposed to survive Ragnarok. Magni and Modi also survive Ragnarok. In real Norse mythology, after Ragnarok ends, Baldur comes back to life. He walks out of hell into the new world. I believe that Odin wants to be the survivor of Ragnarok, so he's getting rid of the players so he can take their place. Once again, ensuring that Odin may survive after Ragnarok, which is again his ultimate goal. Now again, if Baldur survives Ragnarok, if real Norse mythology he comes back to life to aid and prosper in the new world, what's stopping him from coming back alive after Ragnarok is over again? Odin already took care of that.
Hey, I just realized. Magni didn't come back to life.
That is interesting. It's known the Aesir find their own way to Valhalla. No Valkyrie escort, no processing at the gates of Helheim. That may be significant.
We learn when we first start pushing the bridge, Freya tells us that somebody has been messing with the balance of everything. The dead walk free, there's no more space in hell. When we get to Helheim, everything is fucked. Mimir mentions that the souls are not being able to go to the other side, and there are too many souls going to the other side. I believe Odin was the one messing with the balance of nature. Remember, Magni and Modi can't come back to life. This was mentioned by Atreus. And Mimir was asking, that's odd. I don't know why that's happening. I wonder why. If Odin prevented these three gods from coming back to life in the future, I believe he believes it ensures that he is the one and only God standing, that he will have all the power at the end of days and into the new world. Odin is the master manipulator. Odin is the person who does things that make sense to nobody else. But all crazy people have their own perspective on life. They have their own means of solving their problems. And if he has to sacrifice every single one of his people to do it, he will do it. By any means, he will survive Ragnarok, if that means he is the only one to survive Ragnarok. I believe these are his true goals. I believe this is why he does the things he does. I believe this is why he released Skull and Hati, why he sent Baldur, Modi, and Magni. Mimir can't put a pin on it, but I believe Odin knows exactly what he's doing. He will survive Ragnarok. He will make it through to the end. Question is that really such a bad thing? To want to live? To want to survive? I'll talk about that more in my next video. But what do you guys think about the theory that he sacrificed Baldur Magni Modi just to ensure his survival in Ragnarok? What do you think about my theory, and what are your theories? If you want to talk to me about your theory directly, please consider joining my Discord, where we have conversations day and night about God of War. It's actually insane. I just go about my day, I get like 50 notifications, and I just read through it when I'm on the train and the bus. It's really fucking cool. Join my Twitter. Follow me there. You'll get my thoughts on video games and the world. Follow me on Instagram, when you get to see pictures of me in the real world. But that's gonna be it for this video. I'm gonna be out here. Thank you guys for listening. I'll see you in part 3 of my Odin series. Deuces.